Folks, the pressure is going to come. It's going to be there regardless. And then sometimes it hits us when we're not ready for it. We can either let it beat us or we can let it improve us. We can overcome those hurdles. And that's what we're going to talk about next. Sandra Wentz shares her story of purpose under pressure next. Hello, friends, and welcome to Purpose Under Pressure, sharing stories of purpose and the storms that rise in the business world that can knock you off of yours. Purpose Under Pressure is brought to you by the Ruby Group, Sandler sales training in Akron, serving businesses and sales leaders across Ohio and in Florida with sales and leadership training. I'm Brian Lefelock. I'm glad you're here. Let's turn up the pressure. One of the fun things about this podcast is that I get to talk with people who I've met, and people who I've met have shared stories with me before that I find fascinating. And being able to share those stories with you is one of the most amazing things that I think that I can do in kind of a large scale way. And one of those stories comes from our guest today. She is Sandra Wentz. She's with One Direction Strategy. That's an organization that helps small businesses kind of figure it out and thrive. And I'll let her tell you more about that here in just a second. But Sandra has purpose and she has a ton of pressure. And we are going to talk about that next. Sandra, welcome to Purpose Under Pressure.
Thanks, Brian. I'm so happy to be here. Thanks for inviting me.
I'm glad you're here too. I remember very clearly one day we were at a networking room and there was a big table and you were sitting all the way across the room. And I shared this goal that I had accomplished. It was this, I thought I was so important. And it was, a running goal and everything. I was like, wow, everybody's just cheering for me. It felt so good. And then you kind of added a little bit about something you've been through. And I went, holy cow, there's a whole nother world of pain and hurt that people go through. And we're going to talk about that a little bit today, if you don't mind, Sandra.
Not at all. And I still to this day remember that networking and what you did, and you ran, and I never forget, because that just triggered me, and I never forget that, but your purpose every day and what you got up and did. So I thank you.
I think we get along real well as far as trying to accomplish things. But let's talk about this a little bit. First, before we talk about that, tell me a little bit about One Direction and what you do with them and what you're proudest of and kind of what your purpose is for that business.
Absolutely. So basically, One Direction Strategy here, I work with my husband, Rob. I know people say, how do you work with your husband? But I do. And we also have a business partner, Brian Alquist. And basically, we help small businesses get a structured plan in place and to achieve greater success than they ever thought possible. But we do this through strategic planning and accountability. So sometimes, going off a gut feeling or just winging it is just not proven strategy for success. So that's what we do here. Our purpose, and real quick, I have to just gloat a little bit. I just have to say, recently, we just got into the top 20th internationally ranked. So out of over 1,800 coaches worldwide in 92 countries. So our business partner is 14th. So Team Wentz got 20th and our business partner got 14th. So basically systems and processes that we implement with our clients show proven and successful. So I wanted, that just happened a couple of weeks ago. So we were just so thrilled and excited.
So was that one of the things that you wanted to accomplish when you started One Direction Strategy? Was serving that many people in that kind of a way? Or are you more focused on one at a time and then you just happen to get that big? Or what are you trying to accomplish there with your customers?
Brian, that's a great question. I think the biggest thing for us is to help small businesses in our local community, one business owner at a time.
Yeah.
It's not our first business we've owned, my husband and I, and we're trying to help other business owners alleviate the struggles of being a small business owner and help them save time and money. So for us, the purpose is, help them achieve things quicker and faster, because there's a lot that you go through as a business owner. It is really, it could be nerve-wracking. And, if we're able to help them or guide them and show them things to do it quicker and faster and save time and money, then that's what we are able to do. So, you asked about, what drives me. First and foremost, I have to say my family, my husband, also my business partner and our two incredible daughters. One's still in college and the other one graduated. So she's also a national certified strength and conditioning coach. So that's very proud for us. And then, helping people not struggle, giving back and being part of a small business owner's, help them achieve a level of success that they never thought was possible. Brian, it's so rewarding to see that. And that that really drives me. That really does. So yeah, we enjoy it.
And so when you're trying to do that on a daily basis, let's get into the pressure. What
Yeah.
what happens? Can you give us an example of some things that have happened? And I have a feeling I'm interested in what you're going to talk about here. But you're trying to run a business, you're trying to do things the right way, and then the storms come. You're trying to stay on point. What is that purpose? What is
Yeah.
that pressure? Tell us the
You know,
story.
yeah. So, for me, I have to go back. Okay. So about a year and a half ago, I was, actually, yeah, was it? Yeah, a year, almost 2 years. I was diagnosed with stage 3 non-Hodgkin lymphoma. And it was during the COVID, during everything going on. And it was a huge shock. I felt very good. Everything was great. And I had something that showed up in my body. And you know what? I went and got it checked out, and I'm glad I did. And again, diagnosed with stage 3 non-Hodgkin lymphoma. I have no cancer in my family. And Brian, all I could think about is, like it was a blow.
Yeah.
I was very nervous. But you know what? I have to tell you, it was, you know what? I'm a fighter. And my why is so much bigger. And so there was purpose for me. There was drive. And so I said, you know what? I've got this. And so here's the funny things. This is what happened. However, we didn't have a plan, right? On a side note, less than 1% business owners, have one. So when things don't go according to plan, they don't know how to adjust. And I have to say we did. And the only reason I said that, we didn't plan for cancer diagnosis in our plan. I'm not going to say that. But because we did have a plan, we're able to adjust when something like this happened as a result. We were even able to grow our business. So for me, I think the biggest thing of what I was going through, I thought that clients and potential clients were going to doubt us because, we had a lot on our plate and, in my mind. So I really wanted to make sure to stick to our plan to move our business forward. And we did. I wanted to make sure I was going to be out there showing them, sticking to my plan more than ever, and to show them that, hey, listen, as business owners, things do happen. But here's how we do. You just have to, that pivot word, right? It's just your roadmap. We might just have to detour and go around it, but get back on that path. And that's what I had to do.
And so walk us through that, because I find that fascinating. I know on a personal basis, and you have your family and you're going through hell, and I get that. But you're running a business. And so tell me about that approach. Did you get together and decide that, look, this is how we're going to attack it, or did it just happen that way because of how you're built? Was there a strategy? Your customers are a part of your family. It's a family-run business, and yet this thing is happening. So walk us through how you brought that pressure in, because you can't ignore it. That's something you can't ignore. So how did you integrate that with your customers?
So the first and foremost, I guess the biggest thing is just my mindset. I had to be in the mindset that I'm going to beat this. So here's the funny thing. I never forget, cancer, they tell you it's not curable. All right. But he told me the cancer that I had was highly treatable. And I said, I'll take it. And so with that going on, I knew what I had to do, and to keep my mindset, to keep me focused, to stick to our plan, obviously keeping our family intact. No one losing it, and show everyone what was going on. I think the biggest thing is, Rob and I met not only for our business, but for our personal life, and how we were going to tackle this and what we were going to do, and putting a plan together and talking to our clients. You know what? I appreciate everyone's concern. I loved it. But to me, it was, I had to keep my spirit going. I had to also be who I was, even with my children. My one daughter, and I'm going to share this, she didn't want to go back to college. She wanted to help Dad take care of me. And I have to tell you, I told her that you're going back. Life is normal. We're going back. We're moving on, because things are going to happen in life. And you know what? We're going to beat this. And I told her, I said, in a nice way, I said, so what, are you giving up on me? She's like, no, that's not what I mean. I want to help Dad. I said, you know what? I said, but You are by living your life normally like you should, because you know what? We got this, and we have to work as a team to accomplish this. So our clients were great. I have to tell you, there were times where I doubted. I didn't want our clients to think less of us or be worried that Rob was going to take care of me and that we couldn't handle
Right.
what we were going to do.
Right.
So guess what? I felt that I had to be out there more than ever, show them I could do this. And Brian, I even to this day, our oncologist laughed. Rob came to every chemo treatment with me, and we worked. And we worked together. We did this to me to keep my mind focused on the things that are able to move forward. That's what kept me going. That's exactly what kept me going.
And I want to share with you that all the time that I had met you before that meeting and saw you and shaked hands and said hello, I had no idea that you were going through that or had gone through that. And so you really did, you were able to put on a really strong face. When was it the hardest? And this might be hard for you to talk about, but you're trying to keep the business running. It's the two of
Yep.
you with a little help as well, but you're a big part of it. And
Yep.
yet you're sick and fighting things. I don't even imagine how sick, but I know that you're struggling. When was it the hardest to keep the business running and yet to keep your health solid?
So I think the biggest, I'm not going to sit here and lie and say I didn't have bad days. I did. But I had to, you know what really kept me going too is the support from family, friends, and clients just checking in and just exciting. And you know what, Rob, sometimes there were times where I had to do a lot remote, which was fine. And there was time, just to make sure that my immune system stayed healthy and that kind of thing. But you know what? I would do what I could do. And Rob I made sure I told him, you treat me the same. I want no special treatments. And to me, it was. And it just, that drove me to what we had to do. How I keep it together, Brian, you know what? I followed the plan. There were times I had to, change things. We set certain times of the day. There's certain days of the weeks. We knew when I had my chemo treatments, what days were good, what days might have been bad. So we worked around that schedule. We did everything we could, and that's the beauty of owning your own business. You still work hard, but guess what? It's how you work hard. The time you make your own schedule, you do things. I think as a business owner, sometimes we work harder than I ever did in corporate America. I'm not going to lie, because it's my own company, right? I'm the only one to blame. So sometimes you work harder than you ever had.
And so let's bring this into pressure now, or to purpose, because that's the pressure. I'm interested in the why. So you have this illness and this thing that happens to you and your family in a very personal way, but you talk about how important it is to make sure that your clients are well taken care of, that the business grows strong. Like, it actually made your business stronger, I think, and maybe even other parts of your life as well stronger. Why were you so focused on maintaining the business when you could have said, look, Rob, just figure it out. I've got to live. I've got to take care of things. But you focused on the business instead. That's purpose. And I'm interested in why.
So I think the why for us is that, we try to set a good example to our girls and for other small business owners. We're Team Wentz. We are Team Wentz. We've always been Team Wentz. And I think the biggest thing for us is Rob always, we work, I know what he's good at. He knows what I'm good at. And that's why we work really well together. Sometimes too, even the pressure, I think life is always going to throw obstacles in your path. And I think how you overcome them is what makes you who you are today. And to me, it was just another challenge in my life to see if I could overcome it. And you know what? I think that was the biggest thing. I think I was able to show our clients as well as our girls that, hey, listen, something happened in my life, but this is in our business, but look, this is how we're able to do this. And because we had this plan, look, the plan works. And what I mean by that is you might have to adjust the plan. You might have to tweak it. You might have to do different things, but because we had a plan in place and we followed it, I just tell you, there were times where, I'm not going to lie, we had to tweak our plan a couple times in certain things, but we actually, from what had happened, our business grew. I think people realize what we were able to accomplish and how we were able to accomplish with what I was going through really inspired some of these business owners. Really did.
Say on the rule, only decision makers can get other people to make decisions. Each and every day, we have a decision to make. Also, when we're with buyers in our sales process, we have a decision to make how we're going to lead that interaction. And if I'm somebody that can make daily commitments and keep those daily commitments, then when I'm with buyers, I expect them to make commitments and keep those commitments to me throughout that sales process. So first and foremost, I have to have a decided heart in order to lead other people to make the decisions that I'm expecting them to make.
Do you think that they decided that if these folks can get this thing done the way they're going through, that I want that kind of person helping me too? Is that a real thing?
I think so. I think they saw it in
Wow.
me. I think the one thing they come up to me is like, my God, we start first thing with our clients. We take them through a process called our 7 steps. And the first thing is mindset, right? Is getting aligned. It's mindset. It's their vision. And if their vision, if their mind is not in the right place, then how do they grow to that next level? How do they build, right, the next right? It's their foundation. How do they build the first floor, the second floor? And so I think they realized, and they were just inspired. I didn't miss a quarterly planning. I went to all of them. You know what? When I lost my hair, guess what? You know what? I had some people come up to me and says, "Oh my God, are you going to wear a wig?" No. You know what? Hey, bald is beautiful. It is what it is. It's hair. It's going to grow back. So you have to look at the glass half full, not half empty. You have to find the pros in something. And you know what? I have to say, you know what? I know this sounds like an oxymoron. I guess if there's a cancer to be had, the one I had was very was better of them. I don't know if that can you even say cancer is better, but I was able to, overcome everything I was able to do. But I still have to be in remission. I still have to work hard. Brian, a year ago I didn't have hair, and I remember, I don't know if yeah. But you know what? It's going to come. It's going to happen. Or right now, my goal is to stay in remission and to keep our business going and to making sure our clients are serviced the way that we should service them. So it's just, yes, I think they see how we work together and the struggle we went through. And I think I would hope, and at least they're telling us, that is something that they love and see in us, and knowing that we're going to take that same responsibility in their business and help them get to that, no matter where they are in their business and what struggles they have.
So if you can go back and take a look at the Sandra Wentz before and the Sandra Wentz now, full of purpose before, full of drive, full of vigor and making everything happen, and then the pressure comes, and we know that pressure takes coal and turns it into diamonds, and so you are different now. How has the pressure changed and improved or made different your purpose from then to now?
You know what? They say certain things happen for a reason. And I have to tell you, going through this, I really appreciate life in a different way. I've been given a second chance, and I thank God every day. But you know what? I think the biggest thing is that I have been giving a second chance. And because of that, my time is so important. I focus on the things that are important for me and my family and my business to move things. I don't stress about the little things I used to before. I still stress. I'm not going to lie and say I don't stress. But now the stress is a different stress. And I think it's brought our family even closer. Sometimes we take things for granted until things happen. And it has been a good thing because the support and the love from a lot of people. Sometimes you don't know until something does happen. And I never forget, people said, Sandra, you've always reached out to me if something was wrong or certain things. And it's now nice when people reciprocate it back. And I made a vow to always be kind and check on people. And even if I'm not that person that I can't always talk to them, just even sending a text to say, hey, I'm thinking of you, or hope you have a good day, or whatever it may be, because you don't know the positive effect you can have on someone. You really don't. Wow,
You're an
this interview
inspiration.
was supposed to be this
Well,
emotional.
you're an inspiration, and this is your life, and you're living your life, and you're sharing, and you're being vulnerable, and we're grateful that you're able to. And I think that there are business owners listening now, that are feeling stress, and it's different levels. And not everyone has been through what you've been through, but like you said, they are going through struggles, and the struggles are real. And whether it's can't hire an employee, or whether it's can't make the payroll, or whatever it is, it's a problem. And so I'm interested, especially in your role as at One Direction. What do you tell businesses now that you've gone through what you've gone through? What motivation, if someone's struggling now and listening now, what would you like them to know? What are a few words of wisdom that you want them to know when they're going through their thing?
So remember that busy doesn't always equal productivity. So the biggest thing is that sometimes we stress about the little things. So we need to focus on the needle moving activities and not on the activities that are not going to move your business forward. Sometimes if we focus on just putting out fires, and that's all we're going to be doing. We're just going to be putting out fires. But sometimes we have to break it down and focus on the things that are more important. And sometimes those other things that are causing us to stress will alleviate because we focus on the big thing. The biggest thing is consistency. Focus on the small. Focus on its consistency and focusing on the things over time. Follow the process. Follow the plan. Things will happen. Sometimes our clients, the biggest thing we like to do is we take their overall picture and what they're looking to accomplish, their vision, and we break it down for them. And we break it down not just quarterly, but monthly, but weekly. If they focus on those little things and consistently over time, massive big results will happen. They have to trust the process. And that is really hard for business owners. And sometimes we have to get uncomfortable to become successful. That is really important. We have to get uncomfortable. And let me tell you, I got real uncomfortable.
I
I
was just
really
going to
did.
say, that's what you did, isn't it? You focused on the little things. You went day to day, minute to minute, and you got really used to being uncomfortable. You shared that. You were open with it, and you came through the storm on the other side with it. So that's amazing advice and an amazing perspective of how to look at things. And I'm interested, what's next? So you are in. I think everyone wants to know you're here and you're sharing the story
Yeah,
and you're in
I'm
remission, but you're still fighting. What's the storm that's still brewing that you have to get through?
I'm here. I think, it's funny. The one thing that was different when I was going through this is that, I say I had a little bit more time, right? I was a little bit more flexible because I was more home and everything. But, the biggest future, time management, is something that's really important. We all have to be disciplined more, just like we teach our clients, right? Time management is really important. So for us, as we're growing, as we're getting busier, time management is key. Saying no is going to be just as important as the things we say yes to, but only be focusing on the activities that are going to move our business forward. So that is something, sometimes we have a hard time saying no to people because, we're too nice but sometimes we have to look in the mirror and focus on the things that are also going to help us personally. That's something that's important. One thing I did want to add out of all this too, because of what I went through and because of COVID, each of our clients too, besides their strategic business plan, we've also included a personal development plan for each of our clients that we encourage them to do, and making sure that they do something and focus on them, because you're only as good you're only as good as where you can take your business if you're only focused on yourself, right? You have to make sure you're there for your employees, for your family, but you're only good as you are, but you got to make sure you take care of yourself. So that's something that our clients are really, really loving. And I don't know, but man, this year everyone had a 5K in their personal development. I don't know why, but
Is that right?
everyone did. And it was great. It was about being healthier and being there for their family and having more time, focusing more time on their business and not just working in their business. And that's something that was really important. Sometimes we get into the day-to-day that all we're doing is working, in our business, that we don't have time to focus on our business. And so that's something that's important.
It's interesting. Maybe you had a little something to do with that. You talk about the 5Ks and the personal improvement. People probably saw you and said, man, I got to get my stuff going. I got to get this together. That might be right. Sandra, you are a motivation and you are an inspiration. And I love that your passion is also your purpose. And you just won't give up no matter what, whether it's business or personal. That's the kind of person I want to work with. And I hope that maybe other people do too. If you're a business owner and you're interested in talking with Sandra about what she does, or even just about her life struggles and things, I'm sure she doesn't mind. Sandra, how would people reach you if they wanted to contact you?
Absolutely. So you can always visit our website. You can go to 1dstrategy.com. And you can book a discovery call with us. Again, we always like to say we'd love to meet. We even buy the coffee, whatever you'd like to do. But you can also, reach us at our 800 number, which is also on our website, 855-262-2413. And then, but you can follow us on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. We're 1D Strategy Team Wentz. So again, we're 1D Strategy Team Wentz. And this was great. Brian, thank you so much. And I appreciate this. And I'm not going to lie, this is the first time I've actually really shared about this. And as you can tell, I'm truly blessed. I really am.
Yeah, you are in many, many ways. And aren't we all? And like I say, everybody goes through their things, and we are all walking this earth, and we are all breathing this air. And that's just a blessing that we should never take for granted, no matter what we're going through. Right, Sandra?
Absolutely. Yes, and I still, just so you know, I still do my push-ups every day.
Good.
Just so you know.
How many are you doing?
I do my 30 push-ups every day. Non-stop, and I have done for since right before I was diagnosed with cancer, and I never stopped.
Every day, 30 push-ups. What's that, like 10,000 a year or something?
Yeah,
See, that's how it adds up. Little steps, little things as you go. Congratulations. Ladies and gentlemen, this is why I love doing this show. Sandra Wentz from One Direction Strategy, thank you so much for being a guest on Purpose Under Pressure. I love the fact that you're able to share. I love the way you're able to share, and that you're just sharing. And that's just tremendous. Congratulations.
Thank you, Brian. Thanks for having me.
Like I said, folks, that's why I love this show. I mean, my gosh, we get to tell stories of people accomplishing amazing things in the face of obstacles that just don't seem like they can be overcome. And so you can do it too, and I hope that you will. This has been Purpose Under Pressure. It's brought to you by Sandler Sales Training at the Ruby Group. You can visit therubygroup.sandler.com for more information. I tell you, in this pressure-packed sales world, Sandler Training by the Ruby Group shines a light on that purpose. So you can also check out BrianMediaStrategies.com for more information about me, or to hear other Purpose Under Pressure episodes. If you want to talk about anything at all, please do that. I am Brian Lefelock. This is Purpose Under Pressure. Thank you to Sandra Wentz from One Direction Strategy, and we'll turn it up again next week.